Hello everyone and welcome to this trophy review for Spyro the Dragon on the PlayStation 4. A quick note or disclaimer before we begin, this is not a review of the game, nor is it a trophy guide. It's a trophy review. It's not done enough on YouTube because everyone is lazy, so I'm going to be the little reviewer that couldn't do it for you. Also, to make this more interesting, we're going to be heading towards the 10k trophy milestone. I'm a little bit of a cheat and I've already got this far through, so think of that as me saving you from watching more of me, and in return you should watch more of me. We'll be looking at games new and old and looking at what it's like to get the Platinum Trophy. Obviously that means we'll be playing exclusively on the PlayStation 3 and 4, we're not be playing the Vita or the PlayStation Plus or PSP, whatever it is, because I don't like those consoles. And here's the important part, these reviews are a review of the trophies and not necessarily an indication of how good or bad the game is. So when Crash got his overall back in 2017, I knew in my heart that it was only a matter of time before Spyro would be announced, and that meant two things for me. Number one, Spyro being one of my childhood favourites was going to be brought back to life and all of my Christmases would come at once. And number two, there's going to be trophies, and I love me some trophies. So when it was announced, I had a seizure in excitement, but was feeling so good, I even thought about donating to charity, but it was never going to happen. Let's be real, I don't have any money, you should give me some money. Then the day came when I accidentally bought it on the PSN when I had no money left in my account. It was a big fiasco, and I literally mean I accidentally bought it. It was everything we dreamt of, everything was left untouched, it had just been sort of polished. It played mostly well for the most part anyway, but there were a few things that I did need to get used to again. And as far as I'm concerned, the dude who did the gliding in this game personally hates me. Oh, fuck. No. Game piece of... I do love what I've played of this game so far, not to forget that this is a 3-in-1 deal, but today we're focusing on the first Spyro and the trophies that are in that one. So this is how we're going to do this. On screen now are the trophies that you'll get from just playing the game. The ones that say 100% next to them are the ones that you'll get from just playing the game, but going for 100%. We're not going to talk about those ones too much because they really need no explanation. Play the game and they will pop. It's as easy as that. And that's how things will go in these videos. I'll pick a few trophies that were interesting to get, whether that be they're too hard, they're ridiculous, they're too easy, they're interesting, things along those lines. Then we'll move on to the top 3 trophies. And finally, if you've not been bored into submission yet, I'll talk about the bottom 3 trophies. So let's do this. So honestly, this is a difficult video to make as the trophies in this game don't stray much from just play the game, but there is a few I do want to talk about. The game tries to force collectible type trophies on you because of course they do, it's a modern semi-open world game. They're not done all too well though, as they are basically go into this level and do something that you'd never actually think of doing. I'm talking specifically about the Hot Wings 1 and Hot Wings 2 trophies. Flying levels are a pain in the ass at the best of times, and it took me a while to get good at them, but adding extra things to do in them is just on the next level of torture. A quick tip, complete these levels first, that way you're not actually timed when you do this so you can just fly around. There was one that I personally think was done really well in a sort of sadistic way, the Mushroom Hunter trophy. You're asked to flame 5 glowing mushrooms in the Beastmaker's land. I didn't know this was a trophy, but I was compelled to flame them when I saw them. I don't have much more to say on that other than the fact that I was just impressed with how the developers enticed me and then rewarded me for falling for their devious plot. I've honestly never felt so abused. So we'll start with my top 3 trophies for this game. In at number 3 is Launch Date. Jump off every supercharged ramp in treetops. This trophy asks you to do something very simple, just use all the supercharged ramps in the treetops level. This level has been the bane of many a player of this game due to the annoying egg stealer people, but they're wrong. This level is one of the most beautifully crafted ones in the whole game, and running aimlessly around the superchargers just trying to find a way is some of the most fun that you can get in this game, and when you finally find that path, the satisfaction of finally doing it, even all these years later, it hasn't worn off one bit. So getting to these high spots and popping a trophy at the same time is just, well, you know. So on to number 2, we're talking about the Coming Through trophy. Charge through 4 armoured druids near the start of the Magic Crafters. Again, we're going to talk about satisfaction. The feedback you get from killing an enemy in this game is wonderful. Makes like this thud sound. You'll know it when/if you've played it. So on the Magic Crafters level, when you first enter, you come across a row of enemies just asking for a pounding. I failed my first attempt at this, but lining it up and taking them down is just something I've been doing for years. Again, doing something I love and getting the trophy makes me feel all happy on the inside and drowns the thoughts to kill. So on to number 1, my favourite trophy of the whole game. It's the Hoarder trophy. Collect all gems in Nasty's loot. It's an obvious choice really. It's the feel of knowing that you've got every gem in the game. The journey is finally over. You've not exactly brought peace to the Middle East, but you can rest easy at night knowing that you have collected all of the gems in Spyro the Dragon. This game truly fulfills that need for feedback and satisfaction that you get from hearing that trophy sound, but you're never ever asked to do anything remotely difficult. Well, nothing that should be difficult. But there's a few gripes I've got, so here we go with the worst of this game's trophies. So, the third of the worst. Not forgetting, these are my worst. This might differ from person to person, and I have to mention this because of this trophy, as my third worst is the Rocketeer trophy. Sounds simple enough, light 3 fireworks in 15 seconds. In fact, it's so simple, there is a level that has this perfectly set up for you. The problem? Well, no matter what I did, I just couldn't get this to pop. It turns out you have to light them quite slowly to get them to actually recognise them. I have looked around the internet, and in all fairness, I do seem to be the only one that has this problem, if not in the few that's had any trouble with this at all. However, if you've had the same problem, I'd quite like to hear about it in the comments below. Second worst then? Well, remember being a kid and having a blast with this game until it came to those cool flying levels where you could actually fly forever. Then remember realising you actually had to do something in these levels, and these colourful shapes weren't laid out just for you to admire. Well, that brings me to this trophy. I believe it's time to fly. The trophy that makes the flying levels harder than they need to be, especially for me. All you have to do is complete this level without touching the ground, which sounds simple enough in a level where you're supposed to be flying all the time. But I haven't fully gotten used to the controls again, just yet anyway, so my flying skills were making Spyro look drunk at the best of times and on dope at the worst. So that being said, sometimes I do need to land to get my bearings. Can't do that though, nope, not when I'm playing for all the marbles. In the original, I could do this with my eyes shut, and although it's not supposed to have changed from the first game, I don't know, it just feels different. So look, I know this is a bit of a cop-out, but there isn't that much to choose from in this game, so my number 1 pick for the worst trophy to get in this game has to be the Fly Like an Eagle trophy. Remember what I said and we talked about in the previous entry? Well, this is the exact same, only with stricter time limits on a considerably harder flying level. Truth be told, there are no other remotely difficult trophies in this game. I personally feel like these are going to be the ones that stump you for a while, especially entry number 2 and this one. It's a pretty simple game, and I always knew it was going to be, but this is my opinion and I'm sticking to it.